Most women reach for a supplement bottle labeled menopause support without ever finding out what's actually inside it, whether the dose on the label means anything or whether it can interact with medication they're already taking. And that's not their fault. Nobody sits you down and explains which herbs are backed by real clinical research, which ones are mostly marketing wrapped around a pretty label, and which ones need to be used a very specific way to actually do anything. In the next 12 minutes, you're going to learn 3 things. First, why your hormones make certain herbs behave completely differently for you than they did for your mother, your sister, or the woman in the online review who swore by them. Second, the 5 herbs with the strongest evidence behind them right now. What each one actually does inside your body, how much to take, and how long to wait before deciding whether it's working. And third, the 3 mistakes that send most women back to square one. Frustrated, telling themselves, natural stuff just doesn't work for me. It's not that natural stuff doesn't work, it's that almost nobody is taught how to use it correctly. And that gap is exactly what we're closing today. Let's start with why this is happening in the first place, because it changes everything about how you should think about herbal support. During perimenopause and menopause, estrogen and progesterone don't just quietly decline. They decline unevenly, often swinging up and down unpredictably for years before settling at a consistently lower level. Those 2 hormones do a lot more than regulate your monthly cycle. Estrogen influences how much serotonin your brain produces and how sensitive your brain's receptors are to it, which is part of why mood and temperature regulation both shift at the same time. Progesterone, separately, is a precursor to a compound called allopregnanolone, which calms the nervous system through the same receptor pathway targeted by anti-anxiety medications. So when both hormones drop, your brain is essentially losing 2 of its main calming, mood-stabilizing signals at once, not gradually over a lifetime, but often within a span of just a few years. A 2023 review published in the journal Menopause pooled data across dozens of studies and found that up to 80% of women report at least one disruptive symptom during this transition, severe enough to interfere with daily functioning. Hot flashes, fragmented sleep, anxiety, or mood swings that show up out of nowhere. That's not a small, unlucky subset of women. That's the clear majority of everyone going through this. And it doesn't happen on a predictable schedule either. Perimenopause can start 8 to 10 years before your final period, often in your early to mid-40s, while hormone levels are still swinging rather than steadily declining. That's part of why symptoms can feel confusing and inconsistent. A good week followed by 2 rough ones. Because your body isn't moving in a straight line toward menopause. It's moving in an unpredictable wave. So why does this so often get dismissed or minimized at a standard doctor's visit? Because a routine hormone panel or a TSH test is designed to tell you whether you've technically crossed into menopause, not how severely your body and brain are reacting to the transition. Your labs can come back completely normal while you're barely sleeping 4 hours a night and crying in a parking lot for no clear reason. The lab result and the lived experience are measuring 2 entirely different things, and only one of them shows up on paper. This is exactly where herbal medicine has real, well-documented value, not as a replacement for medical care, and not as a cure, but as targeted support for the specific systems struggling while your hormones stabilize. The catch is that herbal does not mean one size fits all, and it does not mean no research exists. Some of the herbs on this list have decades of clinical trials behind specific standardized extracts. Others floating around wellness aisles are mostly folklore with a nice label and 0 standardization. Knowing the difference is the entire point of this video. One more thing worth understanding before we get into the herbs themselves. Your body's response to any of these can vary based on your liver's metabolism, your gut microbiome, and even how much of your own residual estrogen your body is still producing. That's why 2 women on the exact same dose of the exact same standardized extract can have noticeably different experiences. It doesn't mean the herb doesn't work. It means dosing sometimes needs to be adjusted with a healthcare provider, the same way it would for any supplement or medication. Here are the 5 herbs with the strongest evidence behind them, what each one actually does, and exactly how to use it. Number 1. Black cohosh. This is the most extensively studied herb for menopause symptoms in Western research, and for years, scientists assumed it worked by mimicking estrogen. It doesn't. Current research points to black cohosh acting on serotonin receptors, the same pathway involved in regulating body temperature, rather than binding to estrogen receptors at all. That distinction matters because it means black cohosh doesn't carry the same theoretical concerns as estrogen-mimicking compounds for women with hormone-sensitive histories. A meta-analysis, pooling multiple randomized trials, found that black cohosh produced a 26% greater reduction in hot flash severity compared to placebo. Look specifically for a standardized extract. The label should say something like standardized to 2.5% triterpene glycosides, dosed around 20 to 40 milligrams, taken twice a day. Give it a full 6 to 8 weeks before deciding whether it's working. This is not a same-day fix, and judging it after 4 days will tell you nothing. Number 2. Red clover. Red clover contains isoflavones, plant compounds structurally similar to estrogen that can bind weakly to estrogen receptors in the body. For women whose primary symptoms are hot flashes and night sweats specifically, this mild estrogenic activity can meaningfully take the edge off. Typical dosing is 40 to 80 milligrams of standardized isoflavone extract daily, with effects usually building gradually over 4 to 12 weeks, rather than appearing all at once. Between us, this is the herb where quality control matters the absolute most, because isoflavone content varies wildly between cheap blends sold online. Buy from a brand that lists the exact standardized isoflavone amount on the label in milligrams, not one that just says red clover extract with no number attached. Number 3. Vitex, also known as chasteberry. Vitex works through a completely different mechanism than the first two. It acts on the pituitary gland, helping regulate the balance between progesterone and prolactin production. It's most useful specifically during perimenopause, while cycles are still happening but becoming increasingly irregular, and it's most often used for mood swings, irritability, and breast tenderness tied to that hormonal fluctuation. Standard dosing is around 20 to 40 milligrams of standardized extract once daily, taken in the morning on an empty stomach, and it typically needs at least 3 full menstrual cycles before you can fairly evaluate whether it's helping. Number 4. Ashwagandha. This one is an adaptogen, meaning it doesn't target estrogen or progesterone directly at all. Instead, it supports your body's stress response system by helping regulate cortisol output from the adrenal glands. Since chronically elevated cortisol during menopause tends to worsen sleep quality, mood stability, and even hot flash frequency, calming that stress response system indirectly improves several menopause symptoms at once. Clinical studies using standardized root extract, dosed around 300 to 600 milligrams daily, consistently show measurable improvements in sleep quality and perceived stress levels within about 8 weeks of daily use. Take it in the evening if sleep is your main issue, or split the dose morning and evening if daytime stress and anxiety are the bigger problem. The timing can be adjusted to match what you're actually trying to fix. Number 5. Maca root. Maca doesn't act directly on estrogen or progesterone either. It's classified as an adaptogen that appears to support the hypothalamic pituitary axis, the communication pathway between your brain and your hormone-producing glands. Women using maca consistently most often report noticeable improvements in energy levels, mood, and libido, typically somewhere within 6 to 8 weeks of daily use. Dosing generally ranges from 1,500 to 3,000 milligrams of root powder per day, and it's usually taken with food to avoid any stomach upset. Across all 5 of these, give any single herb a minimum of 6 weeks before judging whether it's doing anything. Nearly every herb on this list works through gradual receptor adaptation and hormonal signaling changes, not the kind of immediate chemical relief you'd get from a painkiller. Now here's the part most women skip entirely, and it's actually the part that protects you the most. This is what most women try first, without realizing it's quietly working against them. Mistake number 1. Stacking multiple herbs at once without understanding how they interact with each other or with medication. Red clover and black cohosh are frequently combined together in all-in-one menopause blends, but red clover specifically has documented interactions with blood-thinning medications like warfarin, and its mild estrogenic activity is something worth flagging with your doctor if you have any personal or family history of hormone-sensitive conditions. Vitex, separately, can interact with hormonal birth control and with dopamine-related medications because of exactly how it works on the pituitary gland. Ashwagandha, too, can amplify the effect of sedatives and thyroid medication, which matters if you're already being treated for hypothyroidism, something extremely common at this age. Layering 3 or 4 different herbs together from one proprietary blend means you usually can't tell what's actually helping, what's doing absolutely nothing, and what might be quietly interacting with something else you're taking. Start with one herb, evaluate it fully over the full 6 to 8 week window, then add a second one at a time if you still need more support. Mistake number 2, buying the cheapest bottle on the shelf. Herbal supplements in the United States are not regulated with anywhere near the rigor that pharmaceuticals are. Independent third-party testing has repeatedly found products where the actual isoflavone or extract content doesn't come close to matching what's printed on the label, sometimes off by a wide margin in either direction. A standardized extract, meaning the exact percentage of the active compound is guaranteed and clearly printed on the label, is the real difference between taking something that was actually used in the clinical trials and taking a rounding error in a capsule. Look for third-party testing seals, USP, NSF, or Consumer Lab, on the bottle itself. If a product doesn't list one, that's not automatically disqualifying, but it does mean you're trusting the manufacturer's word alone, with no independent verification behind it. Mistake number 3. Quitting after 2 weeks because nothing happened yet. Unlike medication, every herb on this list works through gradual hormonal and receptor level changes, rather than an instant chemical effect. Every single one requires a minimum of 6 weeks. Some genuinely need 12, before you can fairly judge whether it's actually working for you. Most women give up right around week 3, which, frustratingly, is usually right before any noticeable effect would have shown up. The bottom line is this: herbs for menopause aren't a gimmick, and they aren't magic either. Black cohosh, red clover, vitex, ashwagandha, and maca each have real published clinical research behind them for specific uses, but only when you choose the standardized version, take it consistently at the right dose, and understand exactly what it's meant to help with in the first place. If you're on any prescription medication, especially blood thinners, thyroid medication, or hormonal birth control, have this conversation with your doctor or pharmacist before starting. Not because these herbs are dangerous, but because natural and risk-free to combine with everything are not the same thing. If this video gave you something new to think about, hit the like button and subscribe. We post a new video every Tuesday. Visit healthhustleacademy.com. We've put together the exact supplement stack and wellness tools we talk about in our videos, including standardized options for everything covered today. All links are in the description below. Take care of your body. Nobody else is going to do it for you.